Shalom, Kal Hala Yabla, Allah Hayanawa Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. All praises to our power, the God of the heavens and the earth. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the true teachers of Israel today. Peace and blessings to the house of David, Habayath Madawadah, and to the listeners, the believers. It's the brother Sagallah coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to those that have eyes to see and ears to hear through the Rakak Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit. So the premise of the lesson is going to be centered around this article from dailymail.co.uk. And as you see the title, and it's dated the 31st of October, 2020, it says America boards up cities across the nation and prepare for widespread looting and riots after the election day as some states ready their National Guard. So this is the premise of the lesson. And I'm going to jump right into it. So why would America be boarding up in cities? Because it's in anticipation of great violence, and that great violence is prophecy. So start in the book of Ezekiel, my first precept, Ezekiel 7 and verse 1, and it reads, Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Also thou son of man, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, unto the land of Israel, and the end is come upon the four corners of the land. So what we see is prophecy being fulfilled. You know, the beginning of the last of the end time prophecies, which is what? That the end, it says, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. And so this is the end that was prophesied in the Old Testament, and it is playing out now in the book of Revelation. We are living the book of Revelation right now, the last of the end time prophecies, before the coming of our Messiah, Hamashiach Yahushai. So it says the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Get a quick precept, just going more into that end, because the end has come. What we're witnessing is the beginning of the end. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra 9, starting at verse 5. 2nd Ezra 9 and 5, and it reads, For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So the end is being manifest, which means it's coming to pass, it's coming to fruition. We're witnessing the end through the prophecies. Verse 6, Even so the times also of the highest, speaking of the Most High through Yahushua, have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So we see the signs and we see the cause and effect of Yahushua bringing COVID, shutting down the economy, and the dollar collapsing, and America crumbling, you know, from its foundations. These are all the signs and wonders that was spoken of and foretold before. Let me get another quick precept before I can continue reading. This is the book of Revelation. Speaking of the end is come. You know, the end is being made manifest. Revelation 7 and 1, and it reads, And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. So the four angels are holding back those four winds of destruction that's spoken of when you go back to the book of Ezekiel. So the book of Ezekiel 7 and verse 2, and it reads, Also thou son of man, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh unto the land of Israel, and the end is come upon the four corners of the land. So that is what's spoken of in the book of Revelation, which was already spoken of before by the prophet Ezekiel. So that's the destruction that's been prophesied. So the end is being made manifest, meaning the end is coming to pass. The end, you know, of the rule of who? Of Esau, the so-called white man. Let's get another precept. My next precept is found in the book of 2nd Ezra 6. 2nd Ezra 6, starting at verse 6, and it reads, Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Speaking of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Isaac, who was Yahushai, gave the gift of the sword to Esau, and he's going to be the one that's going to take it away. So that's why he said, and through me, it says, and these things, I saw these, and I did consider these things, and they were all made through me alone. Speaking of at the creation, the beginning, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. So that's through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Once again, Isaac giving the power to Esau of the sword. He's coming to take it away. Verse 7. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Speaking of how are we going to know, and understand the times of the end? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Verse 8. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 8. And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the rule of Jacob is what's upon us. So we see America's boarding up because the rule of Jacob is upon us. That's what we're witnessing, is the rule of Jacob upon us. We get another precept in the book of Revelation. So this is the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, Revelation 18 and 20. And it reads, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, speaking of Israel, because the rule of Israel is what's upon us. The end of Esau's rule and the beginning of the rule of Jacob is upon us. Revelation 18 and 20, once again, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, speaking of Israel, because this is the rule of Israel, the heaven of Israel is coming, and ye holy apostles and prophets, speaking of all the men of the Lord that's doing this work in sincerity and truth on the four corners. For the Most High hath avenged you on her. So this is the vengeance of the Lord's temple. Revelation 18 and 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon, which is also known as America, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So America's going to be destroyed. The scriptures say that, after the destruction of Yahushua and the angels, that nothing was to be perceived of this place but smoke and dust, and the burning of that smoke, showing you this is the end being made manifest, and that the end has come. So going back to the book of Ezekiel, Ezekiel 7 and verse 2, and it reads, Also thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power unto the land of Israel, and the end is come upon the four corners of the land, which is the end of Esau's rule. So that's what we're witnessing as we see America boarding up. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. The Lord is coming back to recompense unto Esau all his abominations, and the other nations. But first and foremost, start with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the deceiver on the planet. Verse 4, Ezekiel 7 and 4, And mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. So this is the evil that's been prophesied of to come. And that evil, that great evil, speaking of the time of Jacob's trouble, Daniel 12 and 1, and Jeremiah 30 and 7. Verse 6, Ezekiel 7 and 6, and end is come. We keep saying that, the end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. Let's read it again. Ezekiel 7 and 6, and end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. So this is showing that this is the end of the rule of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Verse 8, or verse 7, and it reads, the morning is coming to thee, which is, the time that Yahweh Shai, is come back and deliver the elect. So we're starting at night, but that morning is going to be when Yahweh Shai returns. O thou that dwellest in the land, the time has come, the day of trouble is near, the day of Jacob's trouble. It says, and not the sounding again of the mountains. So all the nations are going to rise up after the destruction of Esau Edom. Verse 8, now will I surely pour out my fury upon thee and accomplish mine anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. So the Most High is going to recompense all of the wickedness of Esau Edom. Let's get into it further. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra 15. 2nd Ezra 15, starting at verse 12, and it reads, Egypt shall mourn. So this place, America, is mourning. You see they're boarding up. There's an eviction crisis going on. There's a housing crisis, going on. There's a loss of, tens of millions of jobs, a lack of work, grinding and ceasing in Egypt, as the scriptures say. So we see in Egypt, also known as America, this is New Egypt, mourning. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it, which is death and destruction. Let me go down to the point. Let me go down to verse 15. Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So destruction is coming to the rulership of this world. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. So these are the race wars is coming. That's why they're boarding up. And swords in their hands. And the modern day sword is the gun. For there shall be sedition among men. And that sedition, you go into that word sedition, it means conduct or speech enticing people to rebel against the authority or of a state or monarch. So the state would be the individual states within America, but statehood meaning the American government, the federal American government. So the rule or authority, and this is going to be here in Babylon and go spread throughout other nations on the earth. So this is also known as insurrection, which insurrection is a violent uprising against authority and government. So I'll read it again. 2nd Ezra 15 in verse 16, and it reads, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their princes, nor their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're going to do, in this time, whatever's in their power to do, because that's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So next what's coming is the cities are going to be blocked off eventually. And people won't be able to move and travel freely. They won't be able to jump on planes or get into cars and drive to other states, etc. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. So there's trouble coming because of the pride of Esau Edom. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. People are going to be afraid in this time. That's why it's called the time of Jacob's trouble, a time like no other time on the earth. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So the ideal of, so-called loving your neighbor is about to go out the window. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, because it's going to be a famine of food, and for great tribulation. It's going to be, terrible, tumultuous times going on, So these are the times it's prophesied, of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Verse 20, behold, saith the power, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Done to who? Done to the elect. done to the nation of Israel. When you go to the book of Psalm, the 83rd chapter. Continuing on, verse 21. Like as they do, yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord power. So the same thing is going to happen to those, the nation starting with Esau, who tried to destroy the nation of Israel. Verse 22. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, talking about 2/3 of his people, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. So the Lord's going to repay all the wickedness that's been done by Esau Edom. So with that, I hope that was edifying. Call Halo Yamlah, Allah Hayanoah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles who labor faithfully in this truth and are the true teachers of Israel today. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Habayath Madabadah, the house of David. To the brothers and sisters that listen and believe on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and spirit and in truth. To you I say shalom as well.